Hey, travelers. Troy's back for 2 weeks in a row. Can you believe that?
Nice weather out. Why not?
Right?
You know, this was it feels good. It feels good to be drinking with humans again.
Yeah.
Not just me yelling at the Avengers for the 5th time in a week. Binge drinking at home.
Yeah, I think I've seen all of the Avengers movies umpteen thousand times.
They're fantastic.
Yeah,
but you watch through the series on your 3rd time watch through, and you're like, maybe I should find something else to do. Huh?
Eventually, you just keep going. Yeah, that soundtrack on this movie was really great, right? Yep. Yep. Well, I'm gonna go do something else while the movie's going on.
Yeah. You get through all your binge watching, then you start realizing that you hate most shows, and then But then it gets nice out again, and you can drink outside with friends.
Yay!
And this week, we're doing a bit more of a compilation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of beers, not one style in particular. Kind of doing like what's out, what's fresh in the market right now. So.
And you would know. I mean, you're out in the market.
I try to be, at least.
Yeah.
Most days.
I mean, that's your job. You're out in the market.
I mean, let's not throw around the word job here. Selling beer to thirsty people.
They pay you for it, so I guess that qualifies as a job these days.
Maybe they pay me in beer.
That'd be a terrible job. I mean, it'd be good for a while, but it'd also be a terrible job.
There comes a point.
There comes a point where you go, I've had enough beer. Now I'd like to be able to buy some food and maybe something else. Lagunitas?
Lagunitas.
I don't even know how to pronounce this one.
Let's see it. Sonoma.
Sonoma? Sure.
I believe
because they're in California?
Yeah.
Sonoma?
Yeah. I think this is a beer aged in wine barrels.
That's what it says.
Would you just read the bottom there?
It says it's a sour farmhouse ale aged in Sonoma red wine barrels.
So
from last year.
So let's just like break that down real quick. You always have to be careful when someone says farmhouse in the world of beer. Farmhouse can mean 3 or 4 different things when it comes to beer.
They just throw that word around?
Yeah, I mean, farmhouse is essentially the idea is we have leftover grains, and we're going to put them all in one kettle and brew at the end of the year. So it's just more or less a leftover grain left over from the harvest. It's a French. I think the French are the most popular, the most famous for doing it. But that doesn't really mean anything else besides that. Once you throw all those grains in that pot, all your leftover grains, it depends on what yeast you're using. And if you look at like Belgium is split between kind of a Dutch region and a French region.
Right.
And I think if you're looking more at the French region, you're going to probably get more of that kind of like a Saison yeast.
Sure.
Which is going to give it that Belgium-y kind of white pepper, barnyard flavor. And if you go with more Dutch, you're going to get that more beer de garde yeast, or like a dry amber.
Yep.
So...
Okay.
You can also, Spotted Cow always calls itself a farmhouse for those who are familiar with Spotted Cow, and that's just a beer with a lot of corn in it. So.
Okay.
It's kind of a crapshoot.
Well, this does not smell like a barn.
No, it smells fantastic.
Or a farmyard.
Just look at the color on this guy.
Yeah, it's got a hint of red in it. Really, it's a dark yellow.
Yeah, it's aged in wine barrels.
Yeah.
This looks like a beer that was aged in wine barrels. Oh, that's a lovely tart beer.
Yeah, it's got that. It would be like almost like a Merlot type of flavor to it.
Right as the tart is about to punch in the tongue, like right as it climaxes on like the sourness, it kind of dissipates and you kind of get this wine softness with it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like it's
and a bit of the wine dryness too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely finishes dry. Nice soft bubbles in it. They're like tight, kind of not much of a head retention.
Not really. But I don't think you really, unless you're talking, Spotted Cow. Spotted Cow can.
I wish more breweries did wine barrel sours, if they can make them anywhere near as good as this. Because sometimes you get all the fruited sours. It's nice to have a sour that can stand on its own. And like that is, in and of itself isn't always the most ideal, just like a pure sour. But that wine barrel just kind of adds that one more layer of dimension to it.
Right.
To make it more drinkable, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the dry finish on that one. That's good.
Probably won't do well in Wisconsin then.
No.
You say dry finish? Can you put some more sugar in it, please?
Could you put some more sugar and maybe some lactose in it? Yeah.
Do you have any maple? Just ask it.
I wonder if they give out awards for states that have the most maple in their beer, because We got to be close to the top.
Us Minnesota and Michigan, us northern states are really just like fist fighting for that. I'm sure Vermont somewhere.
Vermont, yeah, I was gonna say this, but Vermont's not very big, so
as I like to call Vermont, fancy Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They do all the same things we do, just
expensive Wisconsin. Yeah.
Just slightly fancier.
Yeah.
Where we may have like an actual shed with a sign on it that would have like a brick building.
Isn't that where your buddy Bernie's from? Vermont?
No, yeah, he's the independent senator from Vermont.
Yeah. Didn't you see that picture of us with him? Do you remember that?
Yeah, he was out here with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was surprised when I found out he only drinks milkshake IPAs.
Yeah.
Wow. You didn't strike me as a milkshake
Who
IPA
knew?
guy. Yeah, who knew?
Would have thought it would have been like maple stouts or something like that, but nope.
Only milkshakes for the bird.
Only milkshake IPAs, that guy. Yeah. Doesn't come off that way, really.
Well, that was delightful.
That was really good.
Wow,
Yeah.
I hope we get more beers like this aged. I mean, that's kind of like a natural fit. If you're not familiar with Lagunitas, they're kind of based out of Sonoma County, I believe.
I think they still have a place in Chicago too, unless it closed down. But because I haven't been following all of the closures during the pandemic, but
8.2% alcohol. That didn't taste at all.
That
like
did not taste like an 8% beer. No.
I feel like I don't like to know the alcohol percentage of a beer before I try it.
I like to be surprised.
Yeah, I like to try to judge.
Believe it or not, I've had some 5% that tasted way heavier than a 5%. I went, there's no way that's only 5%.
To me, unless it's to style, and obviously there's some styles that require a bit more of a boozy flavor, but to me, one of the arts of brewing is, can I put alcohol in this and not make it taste like it? Now, the extreme of that being seltzer.
Yeah.
Hard seltzers, right? It tastes like water.
Ah.
Yeah, well, does it?
Has water ever gotten you drunk? It's gonna.
I feel like that'd be a great ad campaign.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Except apparently they don't need an ad campaign for boozy seltzers because they're just selling like hotcakes on their own.
Yeah, it's its own thing. And I still go back to the very first day I tried a hard seltzer and I was like, this is gonna be big. And here we are. You know,
yeah, I remember
5 years later.
You probably could go back. I'm almost certain that we did a vlog on it, and you said hard seltzers are going to be a thing, and I'm sure I said either you're stupid or I hope that really doesn't come to fruition.
Actually, almost every prediction I have made in the last 5 years has come true.
You're like the Nostradamus of alcohol.
A beer, very specific. A craft beer. Very specific Nostradamus.
It's fantastic.
Like, he was predicting, like, world events. I'm just like, whoa.
I'm just going to concentrate on the beer world.
You're going to have a big stack of seltzer at your local liquor store. That's all I got. No one's the world going to end.
I've said it here.
The other one was NA beers. And NA beers, since we even shot that episode about NA beers, which people hated, apparently.
Yeah.
Those have exploded since then.
I know it.
Yeah.
There's breweries that are just NA only. There are people that are going months on months of just drinking only NA beers.
The wife just got done being pregnant, so we plowed through cases of NA beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not drinking at home. I'm like, well, I'll drink NA beers with you. And what makes you really want a beer? Drink 3
NA beer.
NAs. Yeah. After 3 of them, you're like, God.
I don't feel any better, but now I'm full.
I just want a real beer now.
I've been peeing a lot, but man.
If you know me, that's really a thing.
Yeah. 3 beers, that's at least 10 trips to the bathroom.
If not more.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I might as well just move in here. My dream is to have a hammock in my bathroom.
By the way, it's impossible to travel with Troy. Like a trip to Chicago from here.
I dehydrate myself the day before.
You have to make at least 3-4 bathroom stops.
It's a problem.
So this next one actually comes from Hinterland, so it's Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Keeping it local.
Yeah, it's right local. Potskys. So
Potskys.
maybe you know what Potskys are where you're from. However, those of us that live here, or me growing up in South Dakota, we have no idea because we're primarily Germans and Czechs back there. I don't think Potski's I think you said it's a Polish thing?
I mean, I'm guessing.
Okay.
It sounds like a Polish
Well, it sounds like a Polish thing.
Starts with a P.
If we offend anybody, sorry.
Yell at him.
If that's the most offensive thing I've ever said. Then so they are a pastry that usually filled with jelly of some sort.
I tried a Potsky with my Potsky beer. It was a good combo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. huge around here. So actually, the Festival Foods, which did they do this with Festival?
They had Potskys with Potskys, so you could buy them for Fat Tuesday, which, I mean, we should, in theory, be drinking Doppelbocks right now because we're in the middle of Lent, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
That's Doppelbock season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe next week.
Yeah, next week.
We'll do Doppelbock.
We'll finish Lent with Doppelbock. How about that?
There we go.
So yeah, it's a pastry filled with jelly, huge on Fat Tuesday, and of course we're past Fat Tuesday now.
I mean, we're just past Tuesday. We're not past Fat Tuesday. I mean,
every Tuesday is pretty much Fat Tuesday. The official Fat Tuesday we're past.
Yeah.
The unofficial Fat Tuesdays, those go on every week.
From now until the end of time for me.
Pretty much. It smells like raspberry jelly.
Yeah, I could definitely get some jelly on the nose. You look at this beer, and I was expecting more of a malt.
It does not say specifically that it is raspberry. It says natural flavors, and raspberry is a natural flavor, so we're going to go with that.
There's like a little, I think raspberry, and that's all I can think now because you said it. But that being said, there's definitely a fruit sweetness. If it isn't raspberries, they're doing a good job at making it taste like raspberries.
The nose has a very fruity smell to it.
The stout portion of this beer, nice, good mouth coater. I would say kind of unnoticeable under the fruit, but
right.
But kind of gives you that nice, like, heavy mouthfeel, which I guess if you're drinking a stout, it's kind of one of the characteristics you're at least looking for.
It's got a little more of the bitter stout flavor. It's not
more coffee bitter.
Yeah, coffee bitter.
It's almost like a bit of coffee with a raspberry pastry of some sort.
Yeah, I suppose so. If you're a coffee drinker with you like to have a donut with your coffee.
Not a bad beer, though.
No, it's not a bad beer. I think we've talked about this in the past, and I don't know if you've ever been to actual Hinterland's location, but
I have not.
I have. I actually think that their tap room, the stuff that they offer in their tap room, they don't necessarily can or bottle.
Oh, yeah?
I think the offerings that they have that are just tap room specific are way better than the stuff that they put in the package.
Are they not like kind of a fancier restaurant too, aren't they?
Yeah. So I mean, it's Wisconsin, and of course, it's not taboo here to bring in your child into a brewery, a bar, or wherever. And honestly, where I grew up, it really wasn't that taboo either.
They didn't have breweries where you grew up.
They had no breweries when I grew up. They do now, but that was a long time ago. So, They looked at me a little sideways. They didn't say no because it's still Wisconsin, but bringing him in there was still. And really, I looked at the menu, and the menu's it's on the higher side of. Don't get me wrong. It's a crazy nice place. The only downside to it is it's right across the street from Lambeau. So,
if you're not a Packer fan, I guess that's a downside.
I mean, my back started to burn just a little bit. My back was facing Lambeau. But, yeah.
If you haven't picked this up yet, Landon's not a Packer fan.
What? Don't hold it against me. I know there's a lot of big Packer fans out there.
I'm undeclared.
You're undeclared? You had to try a little more to see what you thought?
Well, with football, I don't have a team.
Oh.
The closest thing to a football team.
Well, I mean, we could probably label you a Packer fan. You've got a stocking cap that you've been wearing for the last 25 years.
I've thrown it away 4 times.
Yeah, still just keeps coming back.
Keeps coming home.
Yeah,
it's
how about that?
It's my picks are like all my hats are actually live.
My blood pressure's gone down since I watched less football. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't realize that was an issue.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy issue. You bet. I go exercise on Sundays most of the time. If I catch the game, I catch the game. If I don't, well, whatever.
I can honestly say I've never sat down to watch a football game.
You're probably better off for it. Yeah.
I know a lot about a lot of random things, music and sports, not either category.
To be honest with you, I'm more of a baseball fan. So there again, nice weather, sitting outside watching a baseball game.
Hot dogs.
Yeah. And I love hot dogs.
I went to the whatchamacallit stadium in Pittsburgh, P&G.
Sure.
I went to
watching
that
the Pirates. Yeah.
I went and saw Pirates probably half dozen times. Mainly because the local brewery would, for $30, all you can drink bus ride to the place with kegs in the parking lot, with a bus ride home.
So it was alcohol motivated.
$30.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty
Why
good
not?
deal.
Fun little fact, and who knows if you actually know who this is.
I probably
Bing Crosby was a part owner of the Pirates back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, back when they
And
won.
he's from Indiana, Pennsylvania? Pretty sure. My friend lived
Bing?
in
I'm not
lived in
sure. I'm not so
Indiana,
sure.
Pennsylvania, and he said there was a house dedicated to him. That was the house he grew
Well,
up
there you go.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Indiana.
Other little known fact. Yeah.
Indiana, Pennsylvania, mind you.
It's a very confusing town
Oh, it's very confusing. There's a college there. So I went to the University of Indiana,
in Pennsylvania.
Or I went to the University of California, Pennsylvania. Guys, come on.
Boy, Pennsylvania, such a confusing state.
Make up some new words.
I don't know that we should go there.
I mean, I ended
I'll
up.
leave just going not knowing where the hell I've been.
Let's drink a third beer.
So we haven't had a lot of barley wines on the vlog. Of obviously in recent months, probably even in the last year, we haven't had. I bet we probably haven't had one barley wine at all.
Barley wine.
However, Troy scored us a barley wine.
2021 Bigfoot from Sierra Nevada.
How about that?
We should also say about Hinterland too before we move on. I think they're just celebrating their 25th or their 30th year anniversary.
It's a long time.
They're they've been around for a hot minute.
Yeah.
So
This day and age, it's a long time.
There's a bunch of people out there that have a little saying that barley wine is life.
Yeah.
Or BLF or something like that.
I love barley wine. The problem is if you're one of those people that you're sitting down and there's several other beers to try other than the barley wine, you're like, what do I do? It's either the barley wine or it's all of these other beers.
Well, first of all, let's just break down the name barley wine. You know, like what is wine, right? Wine is normally people think of fermented grapes when they think of wine, but really wine is any natural, like cider is a type of wine. You can have a blackberry wine. You can have a raspberry wine. It was essentially fruit fermented in and of itself to yield using the natural sugars in that fruit to get you that wine product. Because when you make wine, you're not adding stuff to wine.
Right.
Making wine's like making Kool-Aid, whereas making beer is like making soup. Right.
Sure.
That being said, though, if you just go heavy on barley and less on everything else, no roasted malt, less on hops, you get a barley wine, which is on average around, I'd say somewhere 8 to 12% alcohol.
Yeah, it's usually pretty heavy.
ABV beer, usually a little more coppery in color. It almost looks like an amber, but it's an amber that's going to just wreck your day if you're not careful.
This one's a 9.6, but honestly, when you take that first sip of a barley wine, you know that you're drinking a beer that's a little higher on the
Now, Sierra Nevada definitely, because it is West Coast, they put hops in it.
Yeah.
That hops is very apparent in this barley wine.
It sure is. Not all of them are that way.
In fact, I'd say most of them aren't this way.
I've had several Midwest barley wines that are nothing.
I've even had a few wheat wines in my day. Know what I've never seen, though? An oat wine.
Well, now's the time. If you know someone who brews or if you brew yourself.
Rice, you get sake.
Yeah.
If you're just working your way down the grains. Uh-oh.
There goes the Potsky.
Damn breeze. So this might be our first barley wine. Not a whole lot of breweries make barley wine. It's kind of it's ultimately an English style that's tricky to get right.
Yep.
And it's not the beer that you introduce to non-beer drinkers.
Right.
It's usually a higher alcohol. Like I was saying this, I think, in either the last episode or this one, that I don't purposely enjoy boozy flavors in beer. But with a barley wine, you're going to get a little booze with that caramel. They're usually a very sweet beer because of that extra malt, that sugar that you're getting from the barley.
Yep.
So you're usually getting this kind of sugary beer that's been fermented out. So it's going to be boozy. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be heavy hitting.
Yep. We're almost out of time. So check us out on all the social media channels. Tell us what you think of barley wine. And, of course, we will see you next week, everybody. Until then, Prost.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, you can click down below where there's some more episodes for you to watch. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on episodes that you do watch. We hope to see you next time.